Please welcome to the stage our last speaker on the program, Phillip.
Thank you. To the family, and I consider myself a part of that family, an extended part of that. Our facilitator said he didn't know I was here, and so that's why I had to come behind somebody like Father Flake. I just think that's low down. I think it's low down. Who wants to come behind someone as Father Flake? I'm editor and publisher of a newspaper, so I write more than I speak. But I prepared some remarks that were a little bit longer, but not to make this program much longer. I just wanted to say a few things about Phillip. As a matter of fact, it's in your book. A small tribute to a giant of a man. These few words are a tribute to a man who cared, loved, and worked every day of his life to help others. His saying, "Educate or die," was not mere words to him. He thoroughly believed them and worked to do just that, educate every child. My mind is drawn to quotes attributed to many other great men. For instance, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." That quote certainly bespeaks of Phillip Jackson, but this one speaks volumes of Phillip Jackson as well, the Black Star Project founder. A quote by another Phillip. Probably you never heard of this Phillip. His name is Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick was an author and short story writer of science fiction short stories. He was born just like Phillip in Chicago. But this saying by him was not of science fiction. He said, and I quote, "The true measure of a man is not his intelligence or how high he rises in this freak establishment. No, the true measure of a man is this: how quickly can he respond to the needs of others and how much of himself he can give." So in the words of the title of an album by Nina Simone, "Nuff Said."
Thank you, Sister Lavelle. So we see that Brother Phil touched so many of us. We have a line. We're going to have Sister Catherine come up first, and then we will go with Brother Kente. We all together here? Clap if you all together here today. Please welcome Sister Catherine Jackson.
I'm going to look at my cousin, sister, friend, Natalie, when she says, okay, to cut. The first thing I want to be able to say, to God be the glory for the beautiful family, Gloria, Joanne, Jean, Rose, Rachel, all, Natalie, and all you have done to be in that corner for Phillip Jackson. Gloria, we love you. We love you. On behalf of my grandchildren, and they could not be here today. They were here this weekend, and they called this morning and said, "Nana, don't forget to tell them." So I want to say that when Phillip and I got married, one of the things that the commitment was that he was going to be by and be there by my son, my son Stuart, and we left him in Rockford, and Phillip said, we can't leave AJ in Rockford. We gotta make sure he gets in school. We gotta make sure that he graduates. He did that. I thank him. I thank him for the part that you all know in the community, but the part he lived in his home is that he was right there with with our grandsons, and they were little, and before he go to bed, you see it in the booklet, there's two little boys, there's this grandson that he read to, and then as a result of that, the oldest one now is the class president of his high school. As a result of that, Phillip telling him about work ethics and about doing well, he's on the honor roll. As a result of that, he now walks around and want to wear a tie when he goes someplace. He got that from Phillip Jackson. And if you see him in the Black Star, that's what he did, because he said, I am the next CEO. I am the next alderman. So I wanted to be able to say, and another thing I want to say, that in the hospital room, right before we would leave or something, we were praying. And he was a praying man that loved Jesus, and he was a praying man that prayed for his community, a praying man that prayed for his community and prayed for his family. A beautiful man. If we do nothing else, the love that Phillip had for everybody, please, 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 continue to carry it. As everyone has spoke about, continue to support, continue to be there for his family, for Black Star. I love you all for all that you have done and the commitment that you will continue to do in the name of this great warrior, Phillip Jackson. God bless you.
Thank you, Sister Catherine. Brother Quintet, we're going to ask that everyone limit their beautiful comments and responses for our beloved Brother Phil to just 1 minute. We know it's hard, but look, it's 100 people in line. Come on, Brother Quintet, thank you.
Peace and blessings. Mr. Vincent, I need those young men up here. On behalf of Mother Davis, as well as Mother Dorothy Davis, as well as Baba Phillip Jackson, one time I need you all to repeat after me by saying, educate or die. Real quick, Mr. Jackson was a godsend to me like so many others in this room. You know who you are. I couldn't miss this moment for the world. Real quick, back in 2003, I came back from Ghana, West Africa. God sent me to Mr. Phillip Jackson. I started in the schools with the student motivation program. I sent my prayers and my love to Miss Jackson, my brother Stuart Scott, and all of the Black Star family, from Jamie to Kirsten, to everybody else, man. But Mr. Jackson, real quick, it's been a godsend to me, from me working in his home since I was 19, to working with a grant with Senator Lightfoot, to giving me bus cards to get to the school, man. You know, and to this day, as an artist, and this is what I want to share with these brothers, he gave me a song. He asked me to write an anthem for his celebration of the Martin Luther King piece. And I will carry this song around the country. And not only around the country, but around the world. And it's going to be entitled Educate or Die. And so I took 21 names. Mr. Jackson gave me 100 black men names. And he asked me to create this song. And it just go like this. Black boys rising, the system can't defeat. We on that Tupac road from the concrete. We won't be sorry about it like Garvey. Faithful husband mindset, we not on Maury. Examples of greatness, you can do it too. Go and ask Malcolm Little Shorty what it do. Life change with an X. So little brothers, can be lawyers coming out the projects. You are not rejects, you are Black Star. God got your future, he gon' show you who you are. Yes, it's educate or die, so you must learn daily. You can go to college, Alexander Haley, at 15, living your dream. You can be great even when it don't seem. Set big goals, shoot for the stop. You can have your own school like Paul Dunbar. Just think like a king, because the drive get harder, but you can make it happen like George W. Carver. We all make mistakes. you can have many talents. Like Louis Armstrong, don't quit on life, just keep pressing on, just keep thinking big. Vision on sky, black boys will live, black youth must try. Even freedom got hot, ask Dred Scott, you can win the prize. Brothers, if you faint not, gonna accomplish what you will. We honor Emmett Till and thank God for the Panthers, Huey Newton by the seal. Don't forget Sherman Fred, who helped us grow ahead. They said him too powerful, don't shoot him dead. More love should be spread, injustice is a sign. Mr. Benjamin Banneker, I think it's about time for black boys to love self. No matter how dark, they have unlimited opportunities. You can ask Kenneth Clark and Mr. Phillip Jackson. Peace and blessings. It's Africa right now.
Thank you, Brother Kente. I'm Pastor Brother Kente. Montel Coulibaly, you up next? I don't know how you're going to come after that, but let's try it.
Asante Sana, thank you very much. And Hotep to all assembled. I'm Montel Coulibaly, and I worked with Brother Phillip Jackson in the Black Star Project since about 2004, I believe. And I'm going to be brief. There's a hole in the black community. Phillip lives on, and we have to carry on that vision. One of the things that I really appreciate about that brother, he exhibited servant leadership. And what is leadership? Dr. Maulana Karinga of the organization US, who Phillip appreciates, gave us a great definition of leadership. Real leadership is the capacity of a man or woman to provide vision and values and be able to program structure, practice, and energy in terms of the institution building. That's a real leader, and that's what Phillip Jackson was. Kente Kaiser, isn't he awesome? Our brains are awesome. How are you remembering all of that? So I just wanted to pay some respects to our brother, and also I'm glad someone mentioned Sister Dorothy. She was his right arm in terms of the Black Star Project, and his wife Catherine. So to all of y'all, the struggle continues. Modimo Moholo, God is great. Long live the spirit of Phillip Jackson.
Thank you, Baba Montel. Long live the spirit of Brother Phillip Jackson. Let's go. Come on, y'all. You all clap for our elder here. Brother Phillips, Elder Burke.
Hello. This is a grand and glorious day. It's a fantastic day. My name is Elder Burks, and my wife and I, many years ago, we became Phillip's godparents. And we've enjoyed and being around him so many years. I lost my wife 7 years ago. But my son, oldest son, Gregory, one time my wife and I were going to introduce him to Phillip. And before we could introduce my son, Gregory, started hugging each other and all. And we come to find out that him and Greg graduated from high school together. So it's been a grand and glorious life being with Phillip. And we were with Reverend Jackson when Phillip and them got married. We was kind of in their wedding. And so we had a time-sharing organization that we were in. And I'm happy to say we're responsible for them to enjoy their honeymoon of our time sharing. Thank you all. This has been a grand and glorious day. Have a grand and glorious evening.
Hello, my name is Alicia Billingsley. I just want to thank God for Natalie, always putting our family together all the time as far as with just knowing each other, because I didn't even know Phil was related to my family, and it was just a blessing. I just thank God for him in many days as far as I went to the Black Star Project. And my my auntie Dorothy Davis Billingsley, she passed away on Christmas Day. And I thank God she worked hand in hand as far as with Phil on the Black Star Project. She really worked really tireless days and whatever. And I just laughed to myself, I said, oh my God, they both together doing a lot of power up there. So it's just so amazing and funny and whatever, just thinking about them. And I just love both of them. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to stop by the Black Project and see exactly what they was doing. And I just want to say, as far as to my family, as far as Natalie, you know what your job is, to keep this family together. And I thank God for you. Thank you.
Our next speaker is going to be this young man. His name is Coltrane, and his mom is one of the most renowned spoken word artists that I've ever come across. Coltrane is doing something he's been working on. He wanted to share it today.
Nationally with the Million Fathers March. But few people know about what Phil's contribution has been to us internationally, especially with the diaspora, the 250 million people of African descent that live outside of the continent. And I want to just briefly read a short tribute that in COBRA, the National Coalition of Blacks and Reparations in America, wrote for Phillip Jackson and his family. Phillip Jackson, a lifetime member of the Chicago chapter of COBRA, the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. Phil was very certain in our need to be fully repaired from the continued injuries of enslavement and Jim Crow segregation, as well as those injuries resulting from the ongoing crimes of mass incarceration, predatory lending, and police terror. From September to December of 2015, Phillip Jackson made the Black Star Project's office available to a host of human rights activists in Chicago as we met to plan, hold press conferences, and host the historic January 26th visit of the United Nations Working Group of Experts of People of African Descent. As a result of our efforts, the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner accepted and issued a report which stated the United States had a duty to engage in reparations to right the historic wrongs that still injure us as a people today. That historic and monumentally important outcome of the UN's visit, which still has global relevance today, could not have happened without the courageous and magnanimous support of Phillip Jackson and the Black Star Project. All people of African descent in America are indebted to Phillip Jackson's service. Rest in power, Mr. Phillip Jackson.
In 2016, Labor Day weekend, the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police told its members that they should stay home for Labor Day weekend, most violent weekend of the year. It was clear who that was directed against, right? Phil Jackson stood up. At the time, there was this movie out called The Purge. Phil Jackson said, since they want to purge us, they want to subject us to the purge, we're going to have the community peace surge, okay? He stepped up with that. For about 4 or 5 days, Phil Jackson was like the mayor of Chicago, right? The media, they weren't going to City Hall, they weren't going down to CPD to find out what to do to keep the community safe. Every morning for that weekend, the media showed up at Black Star Project to hear what Phil Jackson had to say about what we needed to do to keep our community safe. Turned out to be pretty sad weekend, about 17 homicides committed that weekend. But what the Chicago police didn't want to tell folks, they were expecting about 30 or 40 homicides that weekend. Okay? So Phil Jackson not only educated people, Phil Jackson taught us how to save lives. And also important to that, when he stepped up, he didn't just step up as an organizer. We know that he put some of his own money into that, quite a bit of his own money. Not just Black Star money, but I mean money out of his pocket. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about, you know, stepping up and continuing to work. People, some of that is going to actually mean digging in your pocket sometimes, okay? And that's also the lesson that Phil taught us.
Pep Tony is going to be our next speaker.
Thanks, Ed.
If there is anyone in doubt whether they have the capacity to carry Philip's mantle moving forward, Philip is a product of what we're imploring everybody else to do. He has been a voice of resistance when social and economic justice were seemingly improbable since I've known him 53 years ago. Anybody here from Calumet class of 69, UIC, Philip started his activism when we were in high school. In October, I wrote Reverend Jackson a letter commemorating his birthday, and I was telling him that 50 years ago, we met him at Calumet High School, me, Shaka Khan, and Thompson, Stella Foster, and Reverend came out to calm us down. We led a protest movement of 30,000 students to fight against discrimination in Chicago public schools. We shut down Calumet, went to Simeon, went to Harlem, we kept going until we got to CBS and Hirsch. What people do not understand is the impact adults that we look up to impact what happens to us. Hakeem Adamutu, 1966 was Don Lee. I still have my Don't Cry, Don't Scream. He would come in, he would speak to us. It's the reason I applied to Cornell University. When you have that, and when you talk to us even at the Launchpad on 79 Cottage Road, it uplifts us in a way that's immeasurable. Reverend Jackson commended us in 1968. He's in the cover of our yearbook, I Am Somebody, is the quote. He commended us on our social activism, but he implored us to pursue academic excellence. That was the seed that hit us as teenagers. I was so proud of Philip. I was inspired to organize many class reunions, including our 50th next year because of him, because it meant so much, because many of us are still active. I'm still active with this organization. I've done direct action campaigns, voting rights marches, because the struggle continues. And I was also proud to see Dorothy Davis back at Black Star Project. My colleague, when we held leadership positions at the Chicago Board of Trade, we left corporate, but we would still give back to the community. So if you have any doubt, you can pick a kid in your community, a kid in your family, somebody you see trying to put bags in their car. It matters. Instead of what Reverend mentioned earlier about watching television, turning the TV, we didn't watch TV. After school, we went to Black Power meetings. And after the Black Power meetings, we wanted to enlighten and inform everybody else to put the knowledge. Thank you all.
Please welcome Kiwana Phillips.
Hello, family and friends. Some of y'all may know me, some may not. I was able to be in an encounter with Phillip Jackson through employment. He's actually, out of my 40 years and 22 years of working, he's been the most, sorry my boss here, he's been the best boss I have ever had in my life. He taught me things, he taught me leadership, to where I'm in a position where I'm still accountable for the whole entire uptown area on the north side. We are in charge of the Safe Passage program up there, which Black Star Project started on the north side. I thank him, I thank Gloria, I thank Dorothy. Oh wow, they are just such an amazing team, Anansi. There are so many people that's in that program that look out for you and help you, and Phillip Jackson is just the head. And I thank God for the opportunity of meeting every one of them, because they are the reason I'm wearing him today.
Thank you so much. We're going to ask that, in respect of time and the space is allowed to us for this wonderful celebration, that no one get in line behind our brother in the green sweater. Green sweater, brother, raise your hand. So no one's going to get behind him, right? I say. My sister, you want to get behind the brother in the green sweater? You're the last one, sister. Come on. Come on, sis. Thank you.
Giving honor to God first. I want to say Phillip Jackson was a genius, He wasn't an insecure man. Iron sharpens iron. I started off through his lovely wife, Catherine Jackson. She brought me into the Black Star Project. We would meet. At first I gave my money, I became a member, and I challenge anybody here that if you really love the Black Star Project, if you never became a member, be a member. I'm gonna tell you how good Phillip was. I'm not long-winded, but I started off as a member. I gave my money, then I became a volunteer, then he put me on the payroll. But me and Phillip would go out and recruit together because you know if you got a company, you gotta work the company. So we would go out, get on the train, talk to people, bring volunteers in. People came in under that. Make a long story short, I worked with Dorothy Davis. Phillip put me on the radio station. I work with this man right here, he knows me. And Phillip put me on Can TV because Phillip wasn't afraid of nobody that was powerful and believed like he did. Me and Phillip both came from Allgill Gardens. Me and Phillip both last name is Jackson. Me and Phillip would ride around the south side of Chicago talking to principals, trying to get them to do a Saturday university, let the mentorship program come in. I would say, Phillip, stay in the car. Let me get and talk to these principals. He was like, okay. Phillip wouldn't do that unless you knew you was powerful. In the name of Jesus, I love Phillip. I'm gonna miss him. I've been crying all day. And I told him, Phillip, I'm gonna keep reading. One more thing. Phillip used to say peace in the hood. I said, Phillip, ain't gonna be no peace in the hood until we get Jesus in the hood. And I started that 7 years ago. Jesus in the hood.
Thank you so much. Glo is up next, everybody. You all welcome, Glo. I knew Mr. Jackson, Phil, because he taught my students, my children. I homeschool, and he taught my children Tai Chi. He was a wonderful man. When I met him at Marquette School, I tried to get them to implement Black Star projects there, and Phillip was so gracious and so wonderful, so powerful. He got those people. I couldn't talk them into anything. Phillip could talk you into doing anything, and he was such a good man. I wanted to tell you about his little story. I just saw him, not just, but a little while ago, last time I saw Phil. He was coming from the Logan Center. I was late for the presentation. I came, the show was over. I said, oh Lord, why am I here then? Phil walks out the door. I said, is that you, Phil? And then he turned around and he got this big smile. So I was about to say, I bet you don't know who I am. And he said, no, I know who you are. I always remember my good mothers. And he said, how's he, mommy and granny? And he that recognition, he never forgot it. His brain was so sharp. And I have a poem that I want to read just right quick that reminds me of Phil. A man with a mission. I delegate power through work and true love. Coming to my home, I welcome your concerns. My ears are burning to hear your desires. My heart is open to feel your aches. My sight is blurred. Through my tears, I see your descent. You ask, who are you? Who are we? We are the chiefs and the elders and the superiors. We are the matrons and the sisters and the daughters. We are the innocent and the adolescent offspring and babies. We are the ancestry, the descendants and the blood. Yes, we are family in God. What is our work? When you are in need, we nourish you. We were in need of drink and you quenched our thirst. We were bare and you provided us with clothing. We were sick and in need of love and you nurtured us.
We were imprisoned. Then you made a show and you propped us. When tribulations threaten to control our homes, we can depend on the man with the faith of stone. We didn't worry when Satan served us a meal with all the fatty trimmings. The man on a mission was praying and working until something happened. That's Phil Jackson to me. Thank you.
Again, if I could just ask you guys to keep your comments with a minute, 2 tops. I know all of us have tons to say about Phillip Jackson. I don't take any pleasure in asking you guys to limit those feelings at all, but if we all take 5-6 minutes, we'll be here for another hour just getting through these comments. So with that being said, Brother Roman's next.
Sound like greetings and peace, everyone. Miss Catherine, I just want you to know that I don't know if I told you or not when we work with the high-risk youth in the community that before I started organizing the stop, I used to work with Phil. You know, he used to inspire me. That's who really inspired me to do the work I do. It was right around the time when I joined the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. That's when I met Phil, and it kind of catapulted me into working with the community. I saw all the amazing work he was doing with Peace in the Hood, the Black Star Project. So I just want to read some farewell words by Ghulam Ahmed. It's called, "A Person's Heaven is Generated Within Him." In the Holy Quran, it says, "Convey to those who believe and act righteously the good news that for them are gardens beneath which rivers flow." In this verse, God Almighty has called faith a garden and righteous action streams of water. This is the relationship between righteous actions and faith, as no garden can flourish and bring forth fruit which is not accompanied by righteous actions. So what is heaven? It is the embodiment of faith and righteous actions. Like hell, paradise too is nothing external. Indeed, a person's heaven is born within him. Remember the blessings that I bestowed there and are nothing but pious, which is shaped in the world. True faith resembles a plant, and righteous actions are like streams which irrigate that plant and maintain its greenness and glory. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want everyone to know that we do have refreshments upstairs following the service, okay? Sent is up next. Please welcome Sent. Thank you.
We honor God, of course, the Savior of our life, and thank God for Push. I was glad to know that the venue had been changed, because I knew Phillip could fill up this room. He got all of us here. And so I'm glad that I'm a witness. But I'm glad that I heard at least one person make that tune, and anybody else who may not have wanted or felt free to come up. But I'm Calumet too. And Phillip was always one of those people you could follow. I followed him when he was on the news that time. Everybody has said everything already, so I'm not going to repeat that. But they didn't make mention of the funny thing when he started fussing at CHA for growing worms on that top floor. So I remember that when I saw him, and I called us members of the village, because he always watched Phillip. And he was in and out. Saw him at the post office, saw him at the store, saw him on the second floor there at 35th. So what I'm saying to you is that I told him, I said, you can't tell people not to grow worms. So, you know, but we would laugh, and the point that I'm making for this occasion is that Phillip didn't just start being Phillip. See, a lot of you who are here testify of how you know him with the Black Star Project. That's fine and good, but you know what? It's a good thing when people can say they knew you as a little kid.
when people can say, oh, I remember him from high school, and you know what? He still had that smile over the years, and he always flung his hands out. I went to a meeting once where Phillip was doing exercises right in front of the meeting. He said, see how strong I am? You know, and anybody was at that meeting, you know I'm telling the truth, he actually was doing flips right in front of the mic, right there. So the only thing I'm saying to you is to put a little me in the picture. I ran for vice president of our student council. I heard someone mention the president, which is Abe Thompson, but I'm the VP. Phillip never allowed me to forget that because I had a good speech, and we had to say that speech for the juniors and seniors, and some of those juniors and the seniors stayed right there in front, and the person who I was running against was from the football team. So they didn't think, some of them, you know, of the school, didn't think that I would win, but Phillip was my supporter too. And so he and others stayed for that second assembly. But I just want you to know that Phillip never allowed me to forget. Because what did I say in that speech? In 1968, I said, if you wanted a more efficient and effective government, tighten up. And he never allowed me to forget that.
Thank you, Sister Sin. Brother Yashua Atan.
Good afternoon, how's everyone doing? My name is Minister Yashua Atan. I'm from the Temple of Mercy Association under the leadership of Minister Raheem Kasset Atan, aka the Sax Preacher. I just wanted to come up here and say to the Black Star Project, thank you. October 23rd of 2016, I was in a life-threatening accident. And my organization put up a GoFundMe. And Phillip Jackson was the first person to contribute to my GoFundMe. And I wanted to thank the Black Star Project for that. Not only was he the first person to donate to it, but if you said anything on that post, because it was a video of my accident on Facebook, if you liked it, commented, whatever you did, when I went and looked at that a few months ago, it was over 3,000 people on there. Phillip was right under there. Did you donate to the brother's cause? Are you helping the brother get back on his feet? Give the brother some money. And I looked and I said, wow, that's how you do a GoFundMe. You know, so I thank you all for that. I thank Phillip Jackson for that. He was just that kind of person. And on behalf of my parents, you know, he worked with my father. He was the engineer at Cook County Department of Corrections. And so they did some work over the years and went to school together. I just want to say thank you.
Yashua. Brother James Parker, the Fathers Club of Black Star Project. I'm always going to remember that.
My name is James, and I'd like to know that I met Phillip Jackson. The first time I met Phillip Jackson was at the Hyde Park Kung Fu Association. From there, we stayed in contact with one another for 7 days out of the 30 years that I've known. He had me as a student motivation speaker in Nigeria because I miss my brother. But in the student motivation program, I worked as an ex-Marine. I instructed ROTC students. He had me running the state. I've been to Washington with him for a week. He had me on TV with Jason R11. He had me in Carter Supervich and Father Flavor. I had many adventures with him, and what kept me as a friend is that he was so involved in what he did, and he was sincere about it. I love that brother. He was my best friend, and I hope his legacy, and I hope he helps us keep going on and keep the Black Star people moving. Sorry I have a nervous condition, but God bless you.
Raven's our next speaker.
Phillip always claimed he had 300,000 children. And I stand here as one of those children going through Chicago public schools. You know, sometimes it's a fight. So my mom had to, fight for people to believe in me, but Phillip wasn't a person she had to fight. Phillip believed in me. My mom thought I was special, but she's my mom. Phillip believed in me because I existed. And there's plenty of other children that exist, and he believed in them just the same.
And it was always the little things that I saw Phillip do that got my attention. And trying to describe the type of person he was to one of my friends, I remembered in high school, me and this girl, we didn't quite see eye to eye, and the situation was about to come to a head. And I said, well, now I gotta go for my ace. So I told my mom. And anything that was going on that my mom told Phillip, he was right there. So we're sitting there, and here comes Phillip to the parent-teacher conference to help me deal with this issue. And so, you know, the principal's like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do going forward. You know, you don't talk to her. And Phillip, I would like to see you and this girl be friends. In the spirit of unity and in the way that he worked. And so I'm just gonna close with, you know, not all heroes wear capes. And Phillip was my hero.
As he was to so many. Andrew Nelson's next.
Большое спасибо. I can prove the correctness and practical efficacy of everything I say. To Father Flager's point, I, Andrew Clarence Merrill Nelson, aspiring to be appointed Deputy Mayor of Chicago by William Michael Daley. I want the mayor to appoint Troy LaRaviere, Chicago Public School Superintendent, and the black woman at the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Mrs. Thomas, as Chicago Police Superintendent. I meant to say Chicago Public School Superintendent for Troy LaRaviere. An office which I declare in the future shall be elected by the people rather than appointed by the mayor. I want all of you, all of us, to make these appointments happen by our fervent, effectual corporate prayer. I am author of a referendum for reparations, universal basic income for all Chicagoans, which I shall delineate in the very near future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shauna. It was Shauna Trainer when I worked with Phillip about 15 years ago. And he was such an example of excellence. The greatest example of excellence I've ever seen. He would carry around a notebook, like a small notebook that he could put in his pocket. Anything he told anybody he was going to do, he would write it in that notebook. So it was no forgetting or, you know. And he was so committed to the community and to the Black Star Project, but committed to every single person's cause as well. So I came into the Black Star Project, I was having difficulties getting my transcripts from my college and everything. I would work with Phillip, maybe we'd get off work at 7 o'clock at night. I'm off. Now he's working with me on getting my transcripts. Now he's working with me, you know, on, it's just, he was just so amazing. He was just so amazing. When my grandmother was ill, I would go and visit her every single day. And I was actually with Phillip in Springfield the night that she passed. And I figured that that's where I was supposed to be, you know, after that. But he was amazing. I'm so grateful. I don't think that, I'm certain that he gave me the best education any school could have given me anywhere. You come into the Black Star Project, they give you a title, you're the president of this, you're the director of that, go through it. And I'm just so thankful for him, so thankful to have known him, to experience him, and to have learned from him.
That may be the truest thing that was said here all day. You walk in the Black Star Project, you are instantly working. Like, don't just stop by, there's a project that needs to be done, and you need to do it. So that was Phillip Jackson. Shirley Hill is the next speaker.
Well, I'd like to give honor to God, give honor to this wonderful family.
this wonderful, loving family, and to my sister Catherine. From 2002 to 2008, our church organization put up a 2,000 seat tent on 59th and Woods in Inglewood. And there was a police officer that was murdered right outside the police station. I think it was in 2002. And I wanted to do a prayer walk. I organized the prayer walk. I said that we are going to get out here in Inglewood during the time that the murderers are out here, during the time that the rapists are out here, during the time that the criminals are out here. We're going to walk these streets. We're going to pray. We're going to go over to the police department, and we're going to pray for the police. And so I told Phillip that I wanted to do this. And now the night that we were to do, everybody camped out. It got about 11:30, everybody started coming to me talking about, we tired, we going home, we've been working here all day. Phillip, I told him, I said, look, I said, I don't care if I gotta walk by myself. I said, there's gonna be a prayer walk tonight. And these police officers are gonna be prayed for tonight. And about 11:45, the media, Channel 7, Channel 5, Channel 2, started pulling up in the parking lot. Phillip Jackson pulled up in the parking lot. The DeBoers pulled up in the parking lot. And everybody that was getting in their car, getting ready to go home, they got out of those cars and they got out there on that street. And we walked from 59th and Wood all the way over to the police station. People were coming out of the tavern asking us to pray for them. We got over to that police station. When we got there, all the police officers came out. They came out in the parking lot, and we were able to pray for them. And every time I think about Phillip, I think about that. And how courageous and how faithful he was as a friend.
Again, we want to remind you guys that there are refreshments upstairs available to you. The family wants to close in a song, so we will have another selection of things before we do. And then brothers Naeem and Stuart, we're going to have you guys come up and close. But Barbara Becker's our next speaker.
Good afternoon, family and friends. I knew Phillip. I went up to the office and volunteered one time. I even taught some classes. They were wonderful. While Phil was in the hospital this past May, he had nerve enough to organize us where we went to boycott, don't buy no coffee from Starbucks. We were at a black-owned coffee shop on 18th and State. I said, that's wonderful. From his bed in the hospital, we were out working. He was quick to join things. He joined in Cobra. As soon as I said we're going to have a lifetime membership, he joined. He brought great speakers to Chicago, y'all. They were so inspiring. And in 2016, he was part of Operation Push Conference. They were talking about getting rid of violence in our schools, and he was dynamic. I also went to a fantastic educational workshop on 49th and South Shore Drive, where they were presenting good ideas on education. Because Phillip was real heavy into education. Big time job with the board. Big time job with the Chicago Housing Authority. And one time, they had a wonderful father and daughter dance. That is so wonderful to bring the children together like that. That was just fantastic. And then what was even fantastic was having all those graduates. We were at Chicago State and that place was packed, wasn't it? And then we went to another church another year. So he knew how to highlight our graduates and encourage them. Because if you look in a room with all them people graduating, you say, oh, I don't think I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to graduate too, So, and one of my favorite t-shirts is educate or die. One time Phil said, I can make a bigger impact. And he decided to run for the U.S. Congressman. Wouldn't that have been great if he had won? Wouldn't that have been great? Well, I was at an event and they honored Phil, and since nobody was there, I got the plaque for him. He worked with Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNI, and they gave him a certificate of excellence awarded to Dr. Phil Jackson on the occasion of the 5th annual UMOJO. So I want to present this to the family. And also, I think it's very important that we donate. And so I have my check in here donating to the family. Black Star Project. Yeah, let's do it, y'all. Amen.
In that same vein, we also have the shirts that you see many of us wearing around, the Educator Die shirts, the shirt that we saw Phillip in every day. Whether we were on TV as a press conference or whatever, it was going to be about education. It was Educate or Die. And we have some of those available for you if you would like to purchase them as well. This next brother coming to the stage, Brother Kenton, is someone who Phillip just had a few go-to people for whatever needed to be done. I've done everything with Kenton from coordinate projects and do press conference to buffing floors and painting walls. And Kenton is that type of dude, so y'all give it up for Kenton.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Kenton Williams. I was a mentor and tutor since 2011 with the Black Star Project. And I just come before you to show appreciation that Mr. Jackson had the venue for us to be able to right our wrongs in our community. I wanted to take action, and he had something for me that, like they said, when you walk in, there was a job for you. So all you had to have is a spirit about you and a will to do it. And I want you to look around and think about how he brought us all together. We have an instant community. We have a network right here. And please don't let it go down. Educate or die.
Thank you. We are coming to a close of our program. Just another reminder, we do have refreshments upstairs. We do have Black Star shirts upstairs for sale as well. Please welcome Sister Rosita.
I just had to come here today to say to Phillip, my sidekick, as Gloria told me, as African American teachers, especially those who were displaced, we had little voice and little support. And Phillip, I went to Phillip, and Phillip was the first one to give us that voice on the radio, the press. Phillip would call me all the time and say, Rosita, come on, talk about the black teacher issue. We had over 10,000 African American teachers terminated and over 130,000 nationwide. And you might have heard me on the broadcast always talking about it because it meant so much to our community, those jobs and those positions. And Phillip understood that. And so I just want to say that I was sitting one night and Phillip said, well, we need an action item. So I was like, well, what can I do? So I started working on this petition, and I said, oh, it's got a few errors, but I'll fix it tomorrow. Well, I got busy tomorrow, so the next Saturday, people were like, your petition has gone viral. And I was like, oh my God, it had errors on it and everything. And Phillip called me and he said he had shared it on all of his networks. It got 5,000 hits, and we were able to communicate with teachers all over the country as a result of him sharing. He had gone on and fixed my errors, and that's what Phillip was about. He was about fixing our errors and bringing us together. I just love Phillip Jackson, and I know you do too, but I just wanted to let everyone know the support that he gave us.
Thank you, Sister Rosita. Please welcome Brother Phil's cousin, Allison Jackson.
Hello, everyone. You know, first of all, thank God. I give him the glory for my cousin, my first cousin, Gloria, Joanne, Jean, Rose, Catherine,
all the cousins. Phillip came from some strong stock on both sides of the family, the mother's side and the father's side. My mother sitting down there remembers him when he was a little boy, how they would go visit him when he lived projects, and that's all he did was read. So this is what I would like everyone to know. Phillip gave so much to everyone in the community, but you know what? He gave to his family too. He loved us, and we knew it, and he made sure that we all knew. Even if we spent 1 hour with him once a year, every day, however we could contribute. When he was running for office, I was on the freezing cold, 4 degrees out in Hyde Park. And I'm telling you, I beat the streets with my cousin helping him. So even though we do as much as we can, we thank you all. And I know my cousin will want all of you who have helped him throughout all the years to really know that he is so thankful and so grateful for all of your sacrifice that you have done for giving to the Black Star Project and all of the many organizations that he has done, because he was truly a pure servant. He was humble, he was loving, he was self-emptying, and we know that in our family. So we appreciate you. I can't say enough, and I know my cousins, and I just ask that you would keep them in your prayers and support the project and help us all to continue to let his legacy live, because I know he will be so proud to see and be a part of this day. Therefore, all everyone has said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough.
I want to thank all of you all for your patience and being willing to stay through all the comments and all the speakers to show your love and support for the family. It means a ton to them that you all will be here and to stay throughout the process. I know it can be long when you're talking about people acknowledging Phillip Jackson. I was joking all the time about standing next to him in public. It was something I really didn't like to do because your arm would get tired of shaking people's hand because everybody knew him. When he introduced you to him, it's like, this is enough. I'm gonna go stand over there now. So I thank you guys for your patience. I truly understand. With that being said, I'm gonna ask Brother Naeem and Brother Stewart to come up and close us out. Then we'll have a musical selection, and then again, we have refreshments upstairs as well.
Peace and blessings, family. We are here to acknowledge proclamations and resolutions and condolences, but before we do that, I want to take this point of privilege to say a few things myself. Thank you all for your patience. I'll be very, very brief. I've known Mr. Jackson, Phillip Jackson, for maybe 15, 16 years. For maybe 11 or 12 years, he was married to my mother. During that time, he's been a mentor. He's, of course, been my stepdad, and most importantly, and more often than not, he stood in the space as my father. And I appreciate him for all the things that he's done for the community and for my family, for my mother, and for you all. So moving forward. Proclamation we received from Mayor Ron Emanuel, from City Clerk Anna Valencia, from the Black Caucus of the City Council, Alderman Pat Dow. We also received a proclamation from Senator Dick Durbin. His states, some people talk about change, others cause it. Phillip Jackson was one of those people. He understood that closing the gap between race and education was essential. Today he is gone, but his dream and his good work lives on through the Black Star Project. Thank you. We also received proclamations from Bertha Brown, I believe that's printed. Resolutions from 100 Black Men in Chicago. Mr. Al Demi and directors. There was also a resolution from State Senator Kimberly Lightfoot, Real Men Charities Incorporated. This is from Francis Washington, right? The Central Advisory Council. Bill Lowry, County Commissioner. And if we did not acknowledge that we received your proclamation, all of them will be acknowledged via mail at a later date.
Okay, I'm just going to take a moment and acknowledge the family. I know that a lot of what was said today was out of love. My name is Naeem Smith. My mother's Gloria Smith. Phillip was my uncle, as a lot of you know. A lot of you may not. I also want to kind of point out some of the members of the family that are there. My Aunt Natalie, my Aunt Joanne, my cousin Rachel. Yeah, if I could ask you all to stand up. Angie, these people you see standing up today, this is the original Black Star. We were Black Star before there was a Black Star. My uncle taught me a lot of things growing up. I and my sisters and brothers and cousins know we were some of the original members of his staff at Crocs and Brentowns, as well as we were some of his original students for Kung Fu, with him just kind of starting out in a small church and building to what a lot of you know is a really large following. But what I want to say most about what my uncle's done for me is he's taught me how to be a respectful man, how to be a Black man, how to love my family, and how to love my community. And I hope that I can live up to his name, because although I knew Phillip Jackson, you all knew Phillip Jackson, we are not just his family, we are Phillip Jackson. So thank you all, and have a good day.
I just want to add to the family, as you all heard and witnessed so much love and support for the great man that Phillip was. I just want to acknowledge that there's a great sacrifice that you all had to make to share him with the world. And that's not easy. We heard people talking about him working at 3 and 4 in the morning. Well, there's a family that wish he was just at home sleeping and resting and being there at 3 or 4 in the morning. So the sacrifice that you all made so that he can go out and be the man he was, I just want to acknowledge it and say thank you and let you know that I certainly appreciate it, as we all do. With that being said, Sister Phoenix, you got another song for us? Sister Phoenix has another song for us, and then we will close out. And again, there are refreshments upstairs.
This is a song requested by the family, and the lyrics entitled the lyrics were by Vincent Harding. And I'm going to ask everyone if you will help us sing this. It's to the tune of "We Are Climbing Jacob's Ladder," a very old original tune, and the words are so simple. And I'm just going to ask in closing if we can all just join. And my sister, will you please come? Because you're going to help us with these words. And so these words were, again, written by Vincent Harding. We are building up a new world. Builders must be strong. Courage, brothers. Courage, sisters. Courage, people. Don't be weary, though the road be long. And then rise and shine. Give God the glory.